From urban streets to open plains, we are under one name. No one is lost or goes unseen, 'cause we're all loved by our King. This is nothing ordinary. There is power in the name we carry. Every nation, every tongue, welcome to the kingdom. All the rich, all the poor, all the people, all yours. We are daughters, we are sons, more than mortals. We are royals, we are yours. in my time zone when my mind's gone and I'm flying home and I'm stressed out and I'm tempted to get that styrofoam and go pull it up, but you know what's up and you know that ain't gonna solve nothing. I mean, Lord forbid I might fall or something and I'm all another, cause
when life's doing me wrong. Gotta shake the dust off my feet and keep marching on. When trouble weighs me down and brings me to my knees, Lord, my needs are many, but that's a pretty good place to be. Don't blame it on the preacher, cause the preacher done told the devil's got a target on my heart and my soul. But let me tell you, brother, what the devil don't know, the lower I go, the more I'm gonna lift you higher, higher, higher. I'm gonna lift you higher, higher, higher. And God Almighty, you are worthy. Higher, higher, higher. I may never get money, I may never have fame, but if I'm ever in the spotlight, I'll point it back your way. 'Cause standing at the top was never ever my goal, but if you put me on a mountain, then I'll tell the whole world, singing hallelujah till I hit the dirt. Oh, I'm gonna lift you higher, higher, higher. I'm gonna lift you higher, higher, higher. And God Almighty, you are worthy. Higher, higher, higher. Hallelujah, He is worthy. Hallelujah, He.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 23rd Annual Grand Concert featuring brief performances from the major performing groups of Oklahoma Christian's Department of Music. My name is John Fletcher, and I'm pleased to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for today's concert. Students and their directors have been hard at work over these opening 5 weeks of the semester, and we hope that you'll enjoy hearing the fruits of their labor today. Further, we hope that what you'll hear today will whet your appetite to come back for more concerts, recitals, and productions throughout the academic year. Today, you'll hear from more than 150 Oklahoma Christian students representing just about every major on our campus. Having just completed their performance a few minutes ago, we hope that you had an opportunity to hear our chamber orchestra performing in the conservatory under the direction of Mr. Eric Colgrove. Each year, this ensemble performs in multiple concerts, and its members can occasionally be heard at weddings and receptions in string quartets. They continue to be a very important facet of our music program. Let's recognize once again the chamber orchestra and Mr. Colgrove. First performance on this stage for today comes from the Symphonic Band. The Symphonic Band is Oklahoma Christian's largest student instrumental performing group. They perform several concerts throughout the year and are often invited to perform at the Oklahoma Festival of the Arts in the spring. Group members also participate in annual performance tours alongside the Jazz Ensemble. For their spring 2018 tour, these groups traveled through 10 states, visiting many national monuments and national parks along the way, including Devil's Tower and Yellowstone National Park. Through the years, these tours have taken the ensembles throughout the United States as well as into Canada and Mexico. Symphonic Band, like the chamber orchestra, is under the direction of Mr. Eric Callgrove, who's in his second year here at Oklahoma Christian and who comes to us from Colorado, where he worked in secondary education for 12 years as a high school band director. Symphonic Band's first selection today was composed in 1986 for the 100th birthday of the Statue of Liberty. This fanfare contains all of the powerful brass hits and flourishes you might expect from a John Williams composition, coupled with melodies that are simple and touching. Chief music critic of the New York Times, Anthony Tomasini, wrote, "As fanfares go, it is a humdinger. It's got two great tunes, a brassy and boisterous fanfare riff, all roulades and flourishes and forward motion, and a long-lined tune for woodwinds that sounds like lots of others Williams has composed for Hollywood, but still gets you right in the back of the throat." Now, under the direction of Eric Callgrove, Symphonic Band presents Liberty Fanfare. The next selection is Pavel Chesnikov's Salvation is Created. Originally a choral work, this piece was composed in 1912 and was likely one of Chesnikov's last sacred works due to the revolution that occurred in 1917. The regime change forbade any religious art, requiring Chesnikov to compose and perform only secular music thereafter. The structure of the work is simple, containing 2 verses, each of which has very similar music. The first verse's lyrics are translated as, "Salvation is made in the midst of the earth, O God," with the second verse comprised only of the word Alleluia. The words and music represent hope and are made more impactful when we realize that, due to his circumstances, Chesnikov was never able to hear this work performed live. The OC Symphonic Band will be performing an instrumental arrangement of this great piece. Symphonic Band's final selection today will be Leonard Bernstein's Mambo from West Side Story. The musical world celebrated Leonard Bernstein's 100th birthday on August 25th of this year, and the Symphonic Band would like to continue that celebration with one of Mr. Bernstein's most iconic compositions. Feel free to join the band in shouting Mambo as they perform this deceptively challenging dance number. And just a logistical note, there will be a brief intermission following this next selection as the stage is reset for our vocal groups. Now, we hope you enjoy Bernstein's Mambo.
Spinning out of control. Your love is like my gravity. Gravity holding me down. Gravity. Gravity holding me down. Holding me down. Holding me down. And even when the world gets colder, I know that you'll be right here by my side. 'Cause I know love's the center that holds everything together. And when the world is spinning out of control, we all need a little gravity. Gravity holding us down. Gravity. Gravity holding us down. We all need a little bit more love like gravity. We all need a little bit more love.
that keeps on burning bright, makes me brave to fight the fight and shout the battle cry. You'll never stop me, I'm a warrior. When I fall down, I get stronger. Faith is my shield, your love is the armor. I will keep the hope alive. I will find the strength inside. I will keep the hope alive. I am a warrior, I will survive. I will keep the hope alive. I will find the strength inside. I will keep the hope alive. Warrior. You'll never stop me, I'm a warrior. When I fall down, I get stronger.
Welcome back. Before continuing with our vocal ensembles, I'd like to take a few moments to recognize and express appreciation for some special individuals and groups who help not only today with this particular event, but for a variety of events and experiences throughout the year. First off, Carrie Cunningham and the events office staff who provide a variety of technical and logistical support for so many events, not only for music department, for all areas on campus throughout the year, and who help with setting up our sound and lighting crew that help with our various music events. And in particular, I'd like to recognize Garen, who's helping out with our sound and lighting today, to Eagle Media, who is helping with the live streaming of our concert today. We're also appreciative of Melissa Loxman. Melissa probably has one or more daughters performing in the program today, but she also serves as our administrative assistant for the Department of Music. She helps in so many ways behind the scenes and does so many things to help make all of us look really good. So we appreciate that. Let's please applaud all of these assistants. Then we are, of course, grateful for the administration and the Board of Trustees here at Oklahoma Christian for the ways that they provide support financially and verbally and in other ways for our performing arts activities here at the university. In particular today, we'd like to say thank you and a special welcome to our new Dean for the College of Liberal Arts, Dr. Tina Wynn. Dr. Wynn, if you're in the audience, would you please stand up so that we might recognize you? Here's Dr. Wynn right over here. Then, as some of you know, we have an outstanding group of supporters who participate in our Friends of Music organization each year. And members of that group provide critical financial support for our musical productions, our ensemble tours, and other music events and projects that go on throughout the year. Some of the members of that organization are no doubt present here today. And if you look at the insert in your program for today's program, you'll see that a number of the more recent contributors for Friends of Music are listed there. And if there are others among you here today, and we hope that there are, who might like to partner with us in the Friends of Music endeavor, we would be eager to visit with you about that initiative and how you might be a part of it and what sorts of things that we do through that experience. So please join me and my colleagues and our students in saying thank you to our members of the Friends of Music. Now, on to our vocal ensembles. The choirs at Oklahoma Christian were formed in the fall of 1950 during the school's first year of operation in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. We're so pleased for several years now to have had Dr. Kyle Pullen directing our choir program, and he's assisted very ably by Miho Fisher and Susan McGilka at the piano. The first choir that you'll hear today is the University Chorale, and they will perform two selections. first is a Russian piece, which I will not attempt to pronounce, composed by Arvo Päre. This piece was first performed by the King's College Choir for a Christmas Eve service. The text is taken from Luke chapter 1, where Mary is informed that she will give birth to the Savior of the world. The second piece will be a setting of William Blake's Cradle Song. This poem speaks of the innocence of a sleeping baby. This theme was likely dear to the poet's heart, having experienced at a young age the death of two siblings. William Blake claimed to have had some vivid visions in his life, which explains this poetic imagining of a baby's dreams. We hope you enjoy the University Chorale.
Благодатная Мария, Господь с тобою,
While this group's getting into place, I'll say just a thing or two about this ensemble. This next group is the University Chamber Singers. And Dr. Pullen, which year is this for you? Is this your 7th year? Yeah, Dr. Pullen is beginning his 7th year here in the music department. And in the 6 years prior, this ensemble, under his direction, has twice been selected as one of the feature groups at the Oklahoma State Music Educators Convention in Tulsa, Oklahoma. To be selected to perform once is a real outstanding honor, but it was so well received the first time and then invited back once again, I believe it was just this past year, or in the last year or two. And speaking with our music colleagues from around the state, high school choir directors, college choir directors, etc., they pretty well universally marveled at the quality of this ensemble that you're about to hear. So we congratulate them on the successes that they have and look forward to what they'll be doing throughout this year. Also within the last year, this group has completed a new CD entitled Lift Mine Eyes. I happen to have a copy right here. This CD includes a cappella songs on the theme of looking toward heaven. And it's a really nice CD, and if you would like to have your own personal copy, and I'll bet even Dr. Pullen would sign this for you, they should be available out in the lobby at the close of this program for $10 each. So we hope that you'll take advantage of that opportunity. The Chamber Singers will be performing 3 pieces this afternoon. The first is a harmonization of an old Gregorian chant, Ubi Caritas. The composer, Maurice Duruflé, was a prize-winning organist in the 1920s. His most famous work is his Requiem Mass. The second piece was written by Eriks Essenvalds, a composer who is rapidly growing in popularity among choral music lovers. The Heavens Flock is basically a text spoken by a person who is sitting by a campfire. This person is so inspired by the fiery stars he sees in the sky that he decides to build a fire of his own as a small likeness of what he sees above. Finally, you will hear Donald Patrican's J'entends le moulin. This piece mimics the sound of a mill. Some of these sounds will be sung, and others will be physically produced sounds like snapping, tapping the thigh, etc. This song is purely fun and exciting, and it features our treasured piano virtuoso, Miho Fisher, accompanying the choir. Once again, at the conclusion of this selection, of their third selection, there will be a brief intermission as the jazz ensemble is set up. Now we hope that you enjoy the University Chamber Singers.
Glory
it knows no end. All these pieces.
All right, next up, the Jazz Ensemble, under the direction of Music Department Chair Dr. Heath Jones. Over the years, this group has received superior ratings at the Temple, Redbud, Wichita, Clark Terry, and Generations Jazz Festivals. They've performed as an honor group at the Oklahoma Music Educators Convention in Tulsa, and have frequently performed at the Oklahoma Jazz Educators Workshop. Next semester, the Jazz Ensemble will join with our cabaret production. Some of you have attended that cabaret. It used to be called the Valentine Cabaret, now simply the Cabaret. In February, we'll be celebrating the 30th anniversary of that production. And this past year, the Jazz Ensemble joined with the stage crew for that show, and they'll be joining once again in February in what will at that time be a newly unveiled, renovated Judd Theater. And then they're going to take that show on the road to Houston, Texas, followed by, and listen really carefully to this, 2 performances aboard the Royal Caribbean ship Liberty of the Seas. Yes, our cabaret production with stage performers and jazz ensemble will be performing on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship in the spring. And here's some real incentive for you to join our Friends of Music. This cruise will be an OC Friends of Music and OC alumni event. So, if you would like to go with us to Honduras, Costa Maya, and Cozumel, Mexico, please contact the music office for details. The Jazz Ensemble's first selection today is entitled Splanky. This tune is a favorite performed by the Count Basie Big Band. This tune appears on the album Atomic Basie and also on Live at the Sands. Here is Splanky. Well, if there's a sax player who looks suspiciously like Dr. Jones on that front row, that is, in fact, Dr. Jones. Prospective students, if you come to school here and you really work hard at your instrument, it's possible that Dr. Jones or one of our other faculty will recommend you for a gig at which you'll be paid to play your instrument. That's actually what's going on today. Logan Bannister, who ordinarily sits in that seat, is off playing a show today. And so Dr. Jones, we had to twist his arm just a little bit so he would sit in with the band. If you look at your program, you'll notice that the soloists are listed for the individual pieces, and you heard Bryson Goad sitting in portraying Count Basie at the piano over there, and Spencer Bannister, freshman music major, on the trombone. But I noticed that we left out Mr. Michael Potts that you heard there on alto saxophone. He did a great job. Okay, next up will be a couple of selections with Frank Sinatra, sort of. Fly Me to the Moon and Luck Be a Lady. These are a couple of familiar standards recorded by the Count Basie Big Band with Frank Sinatra. They appear on the album Sinatra at the Sands with Count Basie. And we have a guest artist today portraying Mr. Sinatra, Mark Galloway. Mr. Galloway is a member of the Professional Golfers Association. He's retired director of golf at Trosper Golf Course here in the city area, and he's also a professional musician in the Oklahoma City metro area. He and Dr. Jones perform together from time to time. So please welcome Mr. Sinatra, Mark Galloway, and the Jazz Ensemble.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. My heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Like if you've ever been a lady to begin with, like be a lady tonight. Like let a gentleman see how nice a day you can be. I know the way you've treated other guys you've been with. Rock your lady with me. A lady doesn't leave her skirt. It isn't firm and it's not nice. A lady doesn't wander over the room, blow on some other guy's dice. So let's keep this party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby, I'm the guy that you came in with. Rock your lady. Rock your lady. Rock your lady. Tonight. 11. All right, thank you very much.
Before we close out the program with one more selection from the Jazz Ensemble, we'd like to thank you once again for attending today's program. And we sincerely hope that we'll see you again throughout this school year in our audiences. This Tuesday evening, our orchestra in residence, the Oklahoma Community Orchestra, kicks off their season here on this stage. And then in just a few weeks, we present the Homecoming Musical Oklahoma, also here on this stage, and a number of the students that you've seen and heard performing today will be a part of that cast. And then throughout the fall, we've got a number of other recitals and ensemble concerts that will be coming up, and we'd be thrilled to have you present for any and all of those. We invite you to sign up for our email concert announcement list so that you can be informed about events that are coming up. And if you look on the back of today's program, down at the bottom in fairly small print, first off, you can see a listing of several of the upcoming events that are scheduled, but then you'll see a way that you can sign up for that email announcement list. But if that's too much trouble or you don't want to mess with that, just contact our music department and we'll be happy to manually sign you up for that list. For today's final selection, the Jazz Ensemble will perform a piece that was originally recorded by Tower of Power. This is called What Is Hip? And they're hip. I'll just go ahead and tell you, they're hip. And this is going to feature Bryson Goad on bass, Spencer Bannister again on trombone, Jake Lehman on guitar, and then Mr. Sinatra Galloway himself on guitar as well. And then please remember that if you'd like some further information about Friends of Music or about this cruise that's coming up or about the choir CD that will be available out in the lobby, let any of us know. We'll be happy to talk with you about that. Here is What Is Hip?